Tennessee, it appears to be one of the many teams that will be able to post $20 million in NIL funds. That's the number that seems to be settled on. And I think it depends which school you are. One school might look at this and say, that's it. Another school looks at this and says, oh, that's way too much. So, Caleb, what are your thoughts?
So I think Tennessee, as far as the sake of college football, I want more revenue sharing because I want more parity because I think that creates more scholarships for athletes long term. But if you're Tennessee, you don't want that. And Tennessee's job is to look out for Tennessee. I think Tennessee should go above and beyond to fight like hell to be able to pay more than $20 million to their players. Because I don't think anybody would have the type of advantage that Tennessee had if you just let schools open up the checkbook and buy their players, quite honestly. And I've been saying this for a while. They should fight to be the Yankees of college football.
Okay. Tennessee and who has an advantage? Because I know you're not telling me that Tennessee is the only school that has this massive financial advantage where they've got a pile of money waiting for NIL payments. They're not the only ones, right?
No, and the NIL is a little bit different because NIL is based on business endorsements. So, for instance, NIL collective sizes, I think schools with the most NIL potential are not the schools with the most potential to directly pay players. Just one quick example before I move on. Miami, I think, has a ton of NIL potential because Dave, the business community of Miami, how many of them would love to just endorse some Hurricanes athletes and give them money to, like, you may not even do it for Miami down there. You may do it for your business, honestly, at that point. So I think there's just a lot of marketing opportunities down there, and same with USC. Then there are schools like Texas that have NIL opportunities and that have big money. So I think Texas can open up checkbooks. I think Texas A&M can open up the checkbook. I think Oklahoma can open up the checkbook. Those are three schools with huge budgets. I think Ohio State will be able to open up the checkbook. I think if they ever got their act together, Florida would, because Gainesville's Florida's a gigantic school, but the apathy can sometimes hold them back. I will say that. But those schools I named, and even Nebraska, honestly, because of Nebraska, this isn't about the business community. This is about the fans that show up for games. Nebraska sells out everything, so they can bring in a lot of direct revenue and open up their checkbook to buy players directly without NIL.
It's interesting what you say about Tennessee being in this group that actually has it and is willing to do it. So I'm taking basketball out of the equation, right? Wherever Calipari is, I guarantee you he's lined up like a 7-digit payment already. There's no doubt. Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk football for a second. Would a $20 million limit hurt Tennessee? That's what I want to ask you. And it's brought to you by our good friends at Dynasty Pools and Spas. 4 downs right now. I'll ask you these questions, and it's brought to you by our good friends at Dynasty Pools and Spas. Here we go.
4 Downs brought to you by Dynasty Spas, the most comfortable spas made in the United States of America, right here in East Tennessee. Drop in for the all-new showroom in Athens. Dynasty Spas, perfect for all 4 seasons. 4 Downs, presented by Off the Hook Sports.
All right, here we go. As Cooper, it is what down?
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
All right. If it could be enforced, would a $20 million cap hurt Tennessee compared to other schools?
Coop here. First down.
That's your question. Caleb, go.
Yes. Easily.
Why?
Easily.
Why?
Because Tennessee could drop $40 million if they wanted to. So it hurts them because it limits their ability to get a bigger advantage. Now, again, I want to be clear. There's no NIL cap. So they're still fine there. But they'd love to be able to do the NIL money and pay players directly. They're one of the few schools that is probably top 5 in both. And so, yes, a $20 million cap would hurt them.
Give me the second down prompt, Coop.
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
What school does it hurt the most in the SEC if you have a cap of $20 million?
I'm going to stick with Tennessee. I would have said Texas, but there's a good enough recruiting base in Texas. Tennessee neutralizes their recruiting disadvantage with the lack of in-state talent because of their money. And that includes NIL and schools paying players. And if Tennessee's stuck in like a 20 million cap where Georgia also has 20 million and Alabama has 20 million, I think all of a sudden Tennessee has more trouble winning those recruits out of Georgia and Alabama. Whereas if it's like a 40 or $50 million cap, I think Tennessee can outbid Georgia and Alabama for those players.
It's Ole Miss. It's Ole Miss.
Ole Miss can't spend 20 million. That cap doesn't hurt Ole Miss. They can't even spend 20 million.
They can get to 20 million. They can't get far beyond that. If you put it at 20 million, they'd probably rather it be at 10, to your point. But if you put it at 20 million, they can never get beyond that.
But that's good for them then, because you're setting the cap at the max of what they can spend.
Well, but I think that they are one of the schools that can actually compete for a championship that have more money to spend than that. I think Tennessee is one too. To your point, I don't think Georgia is one. I don't think Alabama is one. I think South Carolina is one that they probably get together more than 20 million and would be willing to spend it. The exclusions would be Vanderbilt. They could get the money together, but they don't want to spend it on football. They want to spend it on a new research facility, which is good. I like living longer. Florida would, right? LSU would.
I think Florida has a money problem because I think they just don't fill stadiums. A couple of things. Their fan base is fickle enough where they can't offset their losses in other sports, and they can't generate enough of a profit in something like basketball if they're not that good in basketball.
Okay, let's do this.
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
Who should be ashamed to even have to ask of a discount?
Of a player discount?
Let's do this. Who should be worthy to ask a player of a discount to play for them?
There's only one school in the SEC that's worthy of doing that right now, and that's Georgia. Georgia can ask for a discount because Georgia can say, we've just won 2 national titles in 3 years, and we have churned out NFL prospects like nobody's business. Now, if you are an offensive player, Lane Kiffin and Josh Heupel, Tennessee and Ole Miss can ask for discounts for offensive players at positions. But Georgia's the only one that can just blandly, straight up say, you should take a pay cut to come play for me.
I'm going to give you a little bit of LSU, but otherwise I agree with that wholeheartedly. All right. Which down are we on, Coop?
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here.
No, we just did third down.
Oh, we just did third.
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. Fourth down.
All right. At what point does Tennessee ask for a discount? A significant discount. Not, come on, Jake Merklinger. We'd love to have you come on by.
I think they're already asking for discounts at certain positions. I think that they are asking for discounts at quarterback. I think they're asking for discounts at wide receiver. And since we just talked about it, I think they're asking for discounts at edge rusher.
I agree with every position that you mentioned, except for one. I'll tell you which one, and it's brought to you by our friends at Dynasty Pools and Spas. The best thing about Dynasty Pools and Spas is that they've got it all taken care of. What does that mean? Well, you stop by their showroom and check out their fantastic selection of top-notch spas in that showroom in Athens. Make your pick and get ready, because Dynasty Pools and Spas delivers within 125 miles of that location in Athens, that fantastic showroom. They've got the cover lift, steps, chemicals, and everything you need. Delivery at no extra charge. They're just down the road in Athens. You pick the spa you want, and it'll be there for you. Oftentimes discounted with military and first responders discounts. Also blemish models, or just mention Off the Hook Sports. That's Off the Hook Sports for $500 off. There's a discount for you on spas made right here in East Tennessee. Support local. Dynasty Pools and Spas also has the best chemicals for you and your spa and your pool. No fillers, just the chemicals made right here in East Tennessee. Support local. Dynasty Pools and Spas, $500 off if you mention Off the Hook Sports. $500 off if you mention Off the Hook Sports. Dynasty Pools and Spas, dynastypoolsandspas.com.
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Thanks, Coop. I appreciate that. Can you reset us on the poll question as it stands now, Caleb? Where are we? As I know we got in a little bit of recruiting.
Sure. What do you want the poll question to be?
Oh, where are we now? What
oh, okay. Right now, Tennessee is like Vols 2022, fast 49%. Michigan last year, older 20%, other 31%.
Which would you rather be, Caleb? Let me ask you.
I think they're like Michigan of last year, older.
Except faster. I'm one guy that's fast, but it's not.
But wait, you got to answer the question, Dave, that you set up before the break.
Yes.
Which position did you disagree with me on?
I don't think they're elite because of coaching at the defensive end position. So I don't think they get a discount there. I think they just recruited at a high level there. I actually think Garner is better with interior defensive linemen than he is with elite edge rushers. That would be me.
But they're getting elite edge rushers, so I would assume that. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
I think they had a good run of talent. I'm not saying he's bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they went out and got.
I think it's been a little bit lucky that of the players that have fallen there.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
but I think he's a very, very, very solid coach. I mean, the average person might give him a what? A. I might give him an A minus. I think he's been very good there. And pardon me, but the A minus is Tyler Barron. You should have worked something out with him. If you think he's that good, it's part of your job as a position coach, unless he's just crazy. When there are kids like that, where you've just got to cut bait. I get that, but part of your job's to work it out with him, right? Isn't it, Caleb?
It is, but I think that there's a lot of, sometimes there are players that are just so incredibly short-sighted, and Garner has too much of a
James Banks.
Yes. And I think Garner is confident enough in the edge rushers he has to say peace.
If you're asking me to bet, was it more Tyler Barron's fault or James or more Garner's fault? I will bet you 100 times over, and I would get you 10-1 based off his history. It's the player's fault.